And I am very aware of frequencies, and I can feel it and have felt it in your frequency that you're speaking to truth. But it takes the cognitive experience time to catch up. I'm trying to add up the details so I can back it up without doubt, with full confidence. I want to be able to back it up and understand X, Y, and Z and really get a strong sense of all these pieces. And sometimes that just takes time because you're rewriting history in your cells. What my conditioning and my programming has received and accepted from my upbringing in schools and whatever, living in this country, is totally wrong. And you can know that theoretically, but when you start receiving the new information, there's a process. It can't happen instantly. And that's why you feel this sense of rejection from other people. It takes time to land. And you have to be kind of aggressive with it if you really want to get that information. So only people that are aggressively interested are really going to be able to fully resonate and understand with what you're saying. But it's a huge deal to label things. You know the power of words. So it's a huge deal when we have something called slavery. Now we are steering the narrative, and it's all about this storyline, which is pretty compelling, with human rights and all. It's juicy just like that, but it doesn't speak to the continuation of where that really came from, what the real larger story is. Yes, prisoners of war. That is a different fucking narrative. That's different. And then when you have heroes like MLK, it's, yeah, beautiful man. I've always respected MLK my whole life. Beautiful. And I felt the same way when Obama was elected, but there's something that's actually fortifying an old narrative. So you're like, do they insert the heroes and the villains?
The whole world, especially the West, is one big white and Jewish lie. That's all it is. It's one big white and Jewish lie. And they want that lie to live. They want it to survive. They wanted to make it through the test of time. It had a damn good run since the Spanish Inquisition. But that time is up now. Pluto has found its way back to Aquarius. Pluto has found its way back to Aquarius. Let me say that motherfucker again. Pluto has found its way back to Aquarius. All the 1776 stickers on big monster trucks and tattoos and all this shit, spitting tobacco on the floor. Yeah, that whole remnants is all over. The gig is up. The lie of greatness is up. The illusion of superiority is dissolved. It's full exposure, out the closet. And everything now is questionable. Everything now is a fictitious suspicion. The whole world sees it. The whole world knows it. And power is dissolving by the minute. There are many who are out there saying the greatest transfer of wealth in history is about to go down. But I'm here to tell you, wealth takes the context of estate. And when it comes to estate, it's about value protected under trust. And that trust is broken. And the value that comes with the illusion that the whole world was under the spell of by Khazarians and Christian white men is up. Nobody believes it anymore. Everybody has made it to the end of the yellow brick road where the Wizard of Oz is a little shrimp dick ass nigga behind a curtain. and the world sees it. The truth is here. And those who were first are about to be last. And those who were last, and you know who was last. You know who's really last. You know who was made to be last of the last. Yeah. He's about to be first. The one y'all like to talk shit about. The one that everybody likes to make the scapegoat in the problem. He's about to be first. Y'all know who it is.
You got your system in place at your Capricorn placement, according to your natal birth chart, and you can't violate that system. You can't stray away from that formula. Those mathematics are the mathematics to your success, to your prosperity, where you're going. You already said it, and you said it through the struggles to get up that hill, to climb to the top of the mountain so you can have a view of Aquarius from there. With the view of Aquarius, you have to ask yourself, what now am I being asked to do as a service to the people, for humanity? Or the themes, circumstances, and demands of necessity at your Aquarius house placement. All in the name of what? Not in the name of yourself, nigga. Not in the name of yourself. In the name of Cancer, the matriarchal source, mother. What you doing for mother, nigga? Not you. Your moral reasons. To satisfy your conscience. To be a part of what heals humanity.
When you are so used to lies, the truth starts to sound crazy. When you're used to his narrative, white Christian nationalist narratives, Khazarians' propaganda, the moment you hear the truth, you think it's crazy. It's far-fetched. It don't make sense. That's not how I was taught. That's not what the history book says. That's not what Google says. I keep telling y'all niggas over and over again. Facts and truth are two different things. And we're getting to the truth. Not your crummy ass facts that he put in, that he wrote down, that he explained, that he claimed. Because they both are compulsive liars. They're liars and they're thieves. You can't trust the word of liars and thieves, whose long resume is land theft, genocide, propaganda, sowing of division, false narratives, oppression, abuse, and the domination of all indigenous peoples of the earth. This ain't woke speech. It's the fucking truth. We've come full circle about it. It's a limited view that so-called Negroes, blacks, and coloreds just came from some legacy of slavery. That's not who we are. But you're going to find out who we really are. It's not who they told you we are. They told you what is safe for them for you to assume or think. We're prisoners of war, called slaves, because it's consistent with the storyline that doesn't include the estate and status of said slaves, who really are indigenous Native Indians, indigenous Native Americans. truth is not going to be suppressed anymore. It's going to start making sense to you piece by piece. Over the past few years, you've been listening, or you've been hearing, but you haven't been listening. You don't give a fuck. Why? Because it's not in your living room yet. It's not in your living room yet. So you don't give a fuck. But sooner or later, it will be in your living room. Who sets standards and initiatives for any type of human rights efforts in this nation? I already know you answered the question in your mind, but you got too much pride to admit what's in your mind of that answer. Because you know it's niggas. It's Negro, black, and colored, so-called. That's who. And as you notice, when we decide not to get involved with protests and all these other things, ain't nobody popping the grape. Ain't nobody doing shit. Niggas is just bumping gums and talking. Ain't nobody making no progress. Ain't nobody covering no ground. Ain't nobody no threat. Not to the same ones that everybody love talking shit about stands up to do something. That's when something get done. Cause ain't none of y'all a threat. None of y'all. The only one is the so-called African American male who is the threat. Not even the woman. Even she just running her damn mouth. When black men are in the right mind and they decide to stand up, everything changes. And it lets you know who they really are in this land. They carry authority in this land. They carry influence in this land. They have magic in this land. When they stand up in this land, there's a force of nature that supports them, that allows them to change the landscape, the culture. And it always blesses everybody, not just himself. It lets you know who he really is. And no matter whose mouth or Google records, books, false narratives and claims wants to say about him, the power and forces of nature always backs him in the claim of who he really is. He's the one who has the ability to influence every child on earth, more so than their own parents. The African American so-called man. Nobody else has that influence over the children of the entire earth. You want to talk about children of Israel, the Hebrews, the Moors, indigenous Native American Indians? Yeah, all in one. All in motherfucking one. The main person, the first person, and the last person that they don't want to get up on a good foot, because after that it's all over. Don't let this nigga find out who he is. Don't let him know who his forefathers are. Don't let him know that this is really his estate. Don't let him know that he's really a prisoner of war, not a slave. Don't let him know that he's the indigenous while the others that we showed y'all was the natives. Don't let him know. Make sure that he's the very last one that knows the power of his influence, the reach of his influence all over this entire earth. And that he's the one that all people study as they throw the fist up in the air, hoping for some justice. He's the one. The only one they really fear.
The moral conviction in you that's driving you to this. It's not about you. And you got to stop making shit about you. That's the fucking problem. But guess what? You gonna learn that shit when Leo gets to the South Node. You're gonna learn that lesson when Aquarius gets to the North Node. You're gonna learn. It's not about you. It's about us. What you doing for us? As we join hands together in a circle around the mess that we have on earth, the crisis that we have on earth. Join your hands in the name of our mother.
Aquarius Venus transit, the revolution now comes to your relationships. The revolution now comes to your fifth house. Relationships in the fifth house. The revolution now comes to your seventh house. Understand? The revolution now comes to your second house. And the basis of this is to stop performing. No longer performing. The basis of this is fulfillment, pleasure, joy, pleasure. This now comes from what we experience through our authenticity. Unrehearsed. Unrehearsed. This is taking relationships and expressing yourself through relationships, in relationships, or your approach to relationships in a way that goes off script. It goes off script. So what were the traditional standards, the traditional ideals? What was acceptable in society concerning relationships? The status quo. What were the mantras? What were these big mouth females online running the damn yap about what they expect, yada, yada, yada. You gotta have this, you gotta have... Ain't nobody hearing that shit. Ain't nobody hearing that shit. All these corporate concepts of the Capricorn-Pluto transit, relationship context of Capricorn-Pluto transit now changes. Relationships are no longer going to have that Capricorn-Pluto concept as its standard, as the indicator of whether or not value is there. In other words, it's no longer going to be about money. It's no longer going to be about status, what career or job that you have. It's no longer about who get into the bag. European fashion. Entrepreneur. Bad bitch. Boss babe. He got to be making 6 figures. All this stupid shit. For the fucking gram. For commercial. The corporate model ideal of what the image of man and woman should be in the sexual marketplace. The corporate image that became the standard of sexual desire. That whole corporate concept now washed in the water, is gone. Now it's about who's being their self, who's being authentic, who's not wearing a mask, who's showing up as they really are, and who's bringing wisdom with it, who's making sense in the lost state of humanity. While everybody's arguing, everybody's going back and forth, everybody's polarized. People are materialistic and polarized, full of hatred. Who are the ones who's grasped in understanding, a wisdom in the midst of all of this polarization and confusion, that becomes the sexually attractive person. Who's able to explain all this crazy shit? That becomes a sexually attractive person. Who flows with wisdom that is useful, practical, that moves our mind state forward, that empowers our status, that empowers our being, that empowers our identity as the people. Who carries this energy? Who exudes his spirit? That becomes the sexually attractive person. Who's helping us to fight the monster? Who's helping us to fight the bad guys at the top? Who's helping us to fight those who practice evil? And evil is always at the top, not the bottom. Who's helping us to do that? Who is wired and prepared and positioned, conditioned, ready to put up that resistance, empowering the people? That becomes a sexually attractive person. Who understands what the fuck is going on in this world? That's the sexually attractive person. Dumb, slow ass motherfuckers who ain't got a clue what the fuck going on. These are retarded motherfuckers that's gonna be good for each other. The fucking NPCs, jacking off in the corner, bumping into each other, wearing hard hats. Slow son of a bitches. Retarded motherfuckers that's just in the goddamn way chewing the cud. We're turning the corner. Relationships have an experimental edge to it now. The experimental edge is the foot that remains in the outer ring of Saturn. That's Aquarius. The outer ring of Saturn. So relationships now have to have that edge. And it's not something that you have to try to do. It's something that you're going to crave, you're going to long for, you're going to be compelled to have that for yourself. The ingredients of a relationship includes a little rebellion from what we're just coming from, resistance to what keeps coming at us, revolution for any type of conformity, dead culture, dead cycles, ignorance, and lack of humanity and moral conviction. The relationship must have something about it that serves a bigger cause, a greater cause. The relationship has to be an institution by which we come together in intimacy, secrecy, and bond, connection, to keep each other alive in progressive will. We become partners, helpmeets. And advocates of each other as we put our minds together to decode the mysteries of the times we are in. That becomes the point of attraction now. Visionaries come to the top of the sexual marketplace. Visionaries. Who has a vision? Where are the innovators? Who sees a different way? Who sees a different interpretation? Because I'm tired of the same old narratives. I'm tired of the same old stories. I'm tired of the same old cycles. Because all of it is lies. The whole world turns out to be one big Khazarian lie. And I want out. The The sexual marketplace now belongs to those who have their own style, their own mindset, their own attitude and opinions. Not following some influences, the sisterhood, groups, orders, organizations, religions, or whatsoever else. No. Fuck all that. Relationships become a means or access to revolutionary opportunity in your life. And you will find that you're compelled to access relationships for that reason, in the conviction of the self. You can't help but be attracted to someone who helps you to rebel, someone who helps you to revolt against what you realize was inappropriate powers, authorities, or limitations over your life. This also introduces poly. When it comes to Aquarius, this is poly. The detached disposition and approach to relationships and poly context of relationships, which includes all of those under the umbrella of polygamy, which is polygyny and polyamory. This is people doing what makes sense to them, not doing what other people are permitting them to do, not doing what scrutiny, status quo, social conditioning, tradition, deliberately stepping outside of those limitations to find solutions, innovative solutions, to live more honest, to live more true, to let go and be authentic, as I am who I am. And what we're going to find is the exposure of monogamy, especially for men, whose nature was never monogamous. It never will be, it never has been. And he's not wrong, he's not evil, he's not crazy. It's his fucking nature. And he should not be incriminated for his nature. He should not be disrespected for his nature. He should not be debased for his nature. He should not be cursed for his nature. That's who he is, and it's who he has always been. And nobody has ever succeeded in forcing him or shaming him into monogamy, because his nature is always going to prevail no matter what promise he gives you. His nature is going to prevail. And man is not monogamous and never has been. He never will be. So get over the fucking delusion. Be by yourself with a fucking dildo if you can't accept that. At best, what you're going to get is coercion. A lying motherfucker who tells you what you want to hear, what you need to hear to satisfy you, to quiet you down, to make you feel good in the moment. And later on, his nature prevails, and here you are calling him a liar, a cheater, and everything else, but you knew that that's his nature, but you just couldn't accept it. Whose problem is that? It's your problem, bitch, because you can't accept the truth. That's your problem. You were wrong for assuming that a man is monogamous or should be monogamous, because it's not his nature. And you will never change that. Ever. It will never happen.
And don't, for some of y'all feminist females out there, don't charge this shit to your fucking head with all that feminine. Oh yeah, the matriarchal. Yeah, girls, girly world, girly, female ladies, women. Stop that shit, because that ain't what it's about. You got the picture upside down. Calm down, bitch. It ain't about that. This ain't got nothing to do with fucking gender. It's matriarchal source. Understand that. So calm all that shit down. We're returning back to the way this planet used to operate before white men and Khazarians fucked it up. Before they made it patriarchal. Before they made it about corporate intentions and greed. Manifest destiny. Doctrine of discovery. Unum sanctum. And foul intentions of the Catholic Church. The Pope Bulls. We're going back. Like the Iroquois Confederacy. We're going back. 5 Nations themes. We're going back. And it's not going to come from them. Because they the ones that fucked it up. It's going to come from you same people of colors who was suppressed and oppressed in order for this patriarchal will to find its way all over the earth. It's going to come from you. You recovering who you really are outside of your ambitions to be white, to be accepted by the white world. And that's why 2025 was a wake-up call for all y'all motherfuckers out there who thought you was white. Newsflash, you ain't white. And now that you know that, you can focus. You can stop stabbing other motherfuckers in the back. You can stop talking shit about everybody else. Now that you realize you're not white. Now you can get back to it. This message doesn't exclude white people. Please don't feel that way. I'm just being sincere. I'm being natural me. Capricorn new moon is here. And that pattern, the formula that you have that upholds your whole chart authentically, you've got to maintain it because the speed is about to pick up. We're about to accelerate in life. It's going to go very fast. Right after this Capricorn new moon, we have the eclipse season.
It's time to use your relationships for revolutionary missions. It's time to use your relationships to revolutionize your life, your family, your community, your society. It's time to use your relationships for that purpose, for that reason. Visionaries have to come together, not hopeless romantics. And this energy that we have today, hopeless romantics will only drown each other in misery and violence, because that's not what the fuck we doing. We already learned that. Catch up with the motherfucking times. Make it about something substantial, something meaningful. And no, money won't do it. Materialism won't do it. Capitalism won't do it. Corporate dreams won't do it. Because we also already learned the Capricorn-Pluto transit. We're not going backwards. It's about who has something to help decode these mysteries. Champion the truth. Innovate a way to preserve our freedom, our liberation, our humanity. In this energy, whole person has to connect with whole person. There's no riding on somebody's coattail. There's no, oh, you gonna take care of me and you gonna take, no, nigga. You need to be whole. And you come together with another whole person. Because energy is not supposed to be channeled. into another adult's responsibilities. The energy is supposed to be channeled into what we could do to serve humanity from our creativity, from our wisdom, and from the convictions of our testimony. That's what we showing up with. Whole persons. You show up healed, I show up healed. You show up whole, I show up whole. You show up with your recipe for your sanity, for your peace, for your inner child, for your spiritual work, for your shadow work, for your self-preservation, for your clarity, for your purity, for your salvation, and I got mine. But I'm not here to do it for you, and you're not here to do that for me. That should be clarified by now with Pluto in Aquarius. If you can't catch up to that, you're going to drown. Catch up, nigga.
And it starts with Aquarius. With Aquarius, your life is about to change. And you're bringing the revolution through your own Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith conviction that is going to drive you to bring in exactly what we need. Unorthodox, eccentric, different, going the other way than what fear-mongering, propaganda, family legacies, generational curses, and everything else train you to do and be. And collectively, we are taking a turn and we're getting the fuck out of this cycle and pattern of conquistadors, settlers, and colonists. We're bringing in the new that we need. We're bringing in humanitarianism. Solutions for cancer. We're working for cancer now. Cancer is the union hall. Cancer is the home, the source from which we create and innovate. And that's what it's going to be. And nothing's going to stop it. Because he can't do it. It's not his nature. It's not who he is. It's not what he's about. Constitution wasn't inspired by him. It's not his nature. Constitution wasn't originated out of his heart and reflections. It's not his nature. It was conveniently compiled, borrowed, adopted from tribes and sources, including the Holy Quran, including Prophet Muhammad. You know your the forefathers of this nation study Islam. You know they also study from the native tribes, the indigenous tribes. And you know they learn to have a conscience from African, Moorish, and indigenous native slaves. That's who gave them a conscience. That's what gave America a conscience. That's what gave America any access to true civilized disposition. The immigrants who came over here brought that in, making the Statue of Liberty something that's true. People of color made the Statue of Liberty true because white men don't have it in their nature. They can't access it. They can't bring it down. Humanitarianism. It's not comprehensive to them. Not the ones who founded this country. Once that Native American blood, indigenous blood, and everybody else who they raped got in it, yeah, that's when the enlightenment came, because there's a connection. There's a connection now through the blood. But prior to that, these motherfuckers can't connect to that shit. We're bringing it back in. The same people who was negated, downtrodden, forgotten, overlooked, overstepped, overtalked, lied about all through history. Yeah, we're bringing it in. We're going to do it. We got it. Don't worry, we got it. Incoming. You got to find the confidence to go your course. And don't betray yourself. Don't betray your schedule. Don't betray your patterns, the way that you use time, your discipline, your application of accountability. Don't betray it, because that's what scaled you up the mountain, and you will fall from grace if you do, because time is going to accelerate. The phone calls going to be coming in, the connections, busy schedule, everything to do, because you're manifesting and bringing in that reality. But if you go astray from that formula, that Capricorn formula, you're up shit's creek. Clarify it. And allow it to be what gives you confidence and stability and everything that you're insecure about concerning Sagittarius Black Moon Lilith transit. Because that's what you desire to incorporate into your daily walk and experience without scrutiny, without judgment and criticism, without rejection. And at Aquarius is where you plan to do it. But you can't betray the formula.
The truth is that so-called Black Americans are the only ones who have the playbook in their DNA on how to deal with every single one of the tactics and tricks that Khazarians and white Christian nationalists have up their sleeve. There's not a trick that they can pull that we do not clairvoyantly foresee. The skin starts tingling. Their hair starts raising every time they even think to do something. Light years ahead of them. There's no riddle. There's no mystery that they can present to us that we can't untie, decode, and detangle. Not a trick in a book. We're the ones who know how to deal with him. We're the ones who was never impressed by him. We're the ones who seen through the illusion of his power, the illusion of his status, the illusion of his superiority, the illusion of his greatness. We're the ones who know that, and we know it very well. And if you study us, you will have your proper war strategy. You will know what to do with him. You will know the attitude to take, the philosophy to coin. You will know. There's a problem with us as a people, as a community. And it's our character. It's our character. It's not the system. It's not racism. It's not even white superiority. It's our character. And as a people, we're not connected to our matriarchal archetype, the woman, because she has been used by this system for corporate interests, for adjustments and manipulations of cultures, for political outcomes, for marketing, for suppression of the black male, for destruction of the black family, and for genocide of the black child through abortions. She's lost. The African American female is utterly lost. She understands all these things too. She knows all these things too. She's well versed in it. But a woman can be in no better condition than the womb. What you do with your womb is what happens to your entire being. And when you coin for your sisterhood and standardize and remove the shame from the practice of prostitution in open, glorifying it, when you sell your soul to corporate aims, ambitions, and commitments in betrayal of the fourth house in Cancer, selling the fourth house in Cancer for an outcome at Capricorn. When you relieve white Christian nationalism of their role to suppress black men, and you become the suppressor, and you're damn good at it because you're the one who came from his rib, figuratively, knowing all of his vulnerabilities. And you do better than white men have ever done to destroy black men. That's a problem. She's lost in corruption. She's lost in her choosing to submit herself to useful idiocy in politics. She's lost in the indulgence of self-conceit and narcissism, competition with her daughters and her sisters, indulgence in the sexual marketplace and promiscuity and prostitution. She's lost. And without that unification, you're dead in the water. Therefore, we still stand as instructions for all of you other people out there, not to fall for the same tricks. I warn all of you females out there who are not of the so-called black community. Feminism will fuck you up, your family, and your family's legacy, your whole entire community. It will destroy everything you got. Feminism will destroy everything you got. It will massacre your communities. When women start standardizing and practicing promiscuous lifestyles, serial dating, the worship of their careers, and college education, we're hopeless. We are hopeless. Following CIA indoctrination of fear sown between man and woman, just as Harut and Marut, the two angels who came down to teach Khazarians this magical spell. Who will admit the truth so we can get to the love?